A Brexiter has warned of the prospect of Brexit in name only, adding the European Union is likely to have a very solid plan in trade talks with the UK. Former Brexit Party MEP Alexandra Phillips blasted Boris Johnson's Brexit deal, which he struck with the EU last October. She insisted it is almost identical to the agreement former Prime Minister Theresa May negotiated with Brussels. Ms. Phillips told Express, "I'm afraid to say that what Boris Johnson has lumbered us with, the withdrawal agreement, is basically the same thing Theresa May penned that he called vassalage. The same deal that Boris Johnson called vassalage, the withdrawal agreement, is basically what went into print and is now part of statute. The most unsavory aspects of that were just essentially moved into the political declaration which he said was not legally binding." The ex-MEP warned the EU's chief negotiator Michel Barnier as, deliberately, referring back to the political declaration. She said, "Michel Barnier is being very deliberate about constantly referring back to the political declaration and making sure we're well aware that if we deviate from it we're not acting in good faith because that was part of the initial negotiations and strategy that Boris Johnson then signed off." As Britain and Brussels push on with post-Brexit talks, Ms. Phillips added, "I wouldn't put it past the EU to have a very solid plan." And the former MEP warned any agreement could turn out to be Brexit in name only. She said, "I would imagine our future relationship is not going to deviate very far from the political declaration which would essentially end up being Brexit in name only." The former MEP said Brexit depends on the Prime Minister's Europe advisor David Frost standing his ground and how close the UK has to stick to the political declaration. Ms. Phillips added, "I think we are going to end up with a locking of horns, we already have got a locking of horns. And I don't see Barnier and the EU remotely wanting to back down on any of this. So it depends on how firm we can stand and how strident David Frost is prepared to be."